All right then, we've got ourselves a pitch shot here, and when playing the Hickory golf clubs, we've got to understand very quickly what sort of ground we're playing from. Now, I'm in Sweden just now, playing on a golf course which is the late part of the season. The ground is very soft, there's been a lot of rain, and obviously when you're going to hit these shots, it's difficult to hit your classic pitch and run. You're going to find it very difficult to control the length of the shot. I'm going to hit one here. That's pretty good, but the problem is I'm not really sure what's going to happen when the ball lands on the approach area, if it's going to stick or if it's going to bounce and run. So playing obviously in Scotland and Ireland and Wales, you're going to find that you can probably play that kind of shot with maybe your mashie niblick and roll the ball in towards the flagstick. Something like that. That's a pretty good one. Almost hold it. That'll give you a pretty good result on the Scottish courses, but in Sweden or softer golf courses, you'll find it's probably better to lift the ball up. Now the big problem with these clubs is the soles are quite thin, the clubs are quite heavy, and you're going to find that the club digs in the ground much easier than what it does with your modern clubs. So I think we all understand how to play this shot. We obviously hold the club further down the shaft. We have quite a small little stance when we set up to the golf ball, and we can vary our ball position both forward in the stance, in the middle of the stance, or even back in the stance. But the big secret for this shot to play Hickory, when playing Hickory golf, is actually how you hold the club. If I hit a normal pitch shot with my normal hold of the club, that's a classic neutral kind of hold of the club there. If I hit that one, I'll hit a shot with that hold. That's an okay kind of pitch. It's moving towards the pin there, but it's quite an amount of divot there. You see that? And the thing is with the Hickory club, it does tend to dig a little bit more into the ground. So what I do is I change how I hold the club. This is the big secret. The first thing I do is I don't take my traditional overlap hold of the club or my interlock. I vary between two kinds of holds of the club. One, I use my reverse overlap. I put the first finger of my left hand across the fingers of my right hand. And that's obviously, you recognize that kind of hold of the club because it's similar to maybe how you hold your putter. And this gives me a softer hold of the club. And without thinking about it, just making a swing with that hold of the club means that the actual contact in the ground is, as you can see there, much softer. It's not quite so deep. There's also another little tricks I'm going to show you, which is something I've really learnt after starting to play Hickory. And this is to help you get even softer contact so you don't dig the club into the ground. And it's how you hold with your right hand. I've got my first finger of my left hand across the fingers of my right hand there, as you can see. But watch what I do with my right hand. I normally put the golf club shaft across those two cushions of my right hand there, my two fingers there. But what I do with these shots is I move the club out towards the end of my fingers, the last two little cushions of your two middle fingers. If I put the club there, it gives me an incredibly soft feel, and when the club comes into the ground, it bounces easier. Even with a Hickory club, it has no bounce whatsoever. So one of these little shots with this finger position different, you'll notice that when I strike it, I get a very soft little cut into the ground. One more time, the classic traditional hold of the club gives me a slightly deeper connection in the ground, and if I hit more of this kind of finger feel, then the club skims the ground like that. That's a super little pitch. Also stops pretty quick as well, which is not bad for Hickory clubs. So when you're hitting pitch shots with your Hickory clubs, try and vary how you hold the club and experiment with one of those holds I've showed you. The finger down the fingers of the right hand, and even more important, move the golf club further out into the fingers of your right hand, and when you close it over, you will get an amazingly softer feel with your hands, and you'll not dig the Hickory club as much into the ground. So that's my little secret, shall we say, for the pitch shot with Hickory golf clubs. And it's a lot of fun, I'll tell you that.